Hello and welcome. My name is Kazi, and a lot of you have already asked me on how to use D2L. I already made a video before, however, that is a bit outdated now that we have possible in-person classes, and naturally for in-person classes, the timings are going to be a bit different. I suppose a bit of backstory is needed for here. If you're doing everything completely online, then essentially you do not need to have you do not need to follow the how do you say, the Portal calendar. Now, yes, Portal has its own calendar, and I'll be showing that. Uh, However, usually if you're doing everything online, typically we never follow the Portal calendar because the professors usually have their own schedule which they use via Zoom or elsewhere through D2L. And so normally you'd be adding your own events through manually for that usually because they have their own class timings online as opposed to the portal timings. So from that perspective, that's why it's a bit different. However, for in-person classes, you would always follow your portal timings. Your portal timings would always be accurate. This is essentially kind of like for both. So I'll be so suppose you have the timings, you want to add it to your calendar. And I really recommend having a calendar essentially. Like this is why I'm making this tutorial. Because I have stressed it before multiple times. Having a calendar, knowing when your events are, knowing when your classes are, when your assignments are, all of that is very important, especially to a university student and especially to you. So I guess I'll start with this. So right now I have my Google Calendar open. I prefer using Google Calendar. However, if you prefer using Outlook Calendar, then that too is certainly just as good. You can also use Outlook Calendar. I suppose it has the exact same functionality. Everything else, they may be placed in different spots or areas. You're gonna have to click to find out. Unfortunately, I prefer using Google Calendar because I'm more used to it. So yeah, but Outlook Calendar you can do the same exact things. Outlook Calendar sometimes have even an advantage over Google Calendar in the sense that we're using Outlook for our for our main courses essentially. So because we are using Outlook over here, that's why uh, you can actually integrate Zoom classes into the Outlook calendar directly and all that stuff. But I mean, either one would work essentially. So I'll just go back to the normal Zoom. So let's start with integrating the D2L calendar onto Google Calendar. So we're going to start with adding our calendar from D2L. So let's go back to the home page of D2L. Like when you log in, this is going to be the first page you're going to see. You all know this. What you're going to do is you're going to scroll all the way down and then you're going to see the calendar option right over here, the calendar. Select that and you're going to be brought to another web page where you have all of these extra items over here. And over here you have multiple things. You can select week, month, list, but the most interesting thing about that, or the one that should interest you, is the subscribe part of that particular web page over here. You select subscribe and that's gonna give you a small pop-up. So make sure you have pop-ups enabled for D2L, always have that by mandatory. And this subscription service basically would subscribe the D2L calendar onto your Google or Outlook calendar. So what you can do is, so all you have to do is simply copy this link over here. You can also select the type of calendar you want. What do you want? What do you want? What tasks you want to complete? What stuff you want to subscribe from Google Calendar. Me personally, I just would want all calendars and tasks, and then just copy all of that. Control C, and then we can close that. Now now we got the subscription service. We can go back to Google Calendar on our tab, and there we go. Now what we can do now is what you're going to do is you're going to go to the settings menu, select settings, and you're going to be brought up to this small web page. you're gonna go all the way to down to add calendar and then select from URL. I guess it's better if you can zoom in from there. Yep. So you're gonna go to language time, go to from URL, and then you can see there. So URL of calendar. So just simply Control V, paste that calendar, and then all you got to do is add that calendar, and congratulations, you have subscribed to that calendar. And if we go back to our main D2L, there we go, we have successfully subscribed. You can see that this is the D2L thing, UCalgary Online Orientation, or all courses, University of Calgary. This is the calendar which we particularly use. This is what is called, like the calendar, that's what it's called. And you can see it on the bottom right, all courses. And that is how you subscribe to the D2L calendar. So yeah, now one thing with the D2L, like because of this is a subscription service, you do not need to regularly import the calendar again and again every single time there's a new event. You do not need to do that. Since it's a subscription service, you only need to do it once and it is permanently enabled. So it would automatically add the events to your Google Calendar or Outlook calendar always, so you do not need to regularly import it. So that's a good thing. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the portal calendar. Now, the portal calendar is a bit different in the sense that you do not have subscription service for the portal calendar. So yeah, you're gonna have to regularly import your classes. Although, I mean, usually you can do this, like you'd only need to import it, I suppose, once, the day right before class start or something. So yeah, just simply select, go to your portal, my UFC login, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I already logged in before, so I don't need to go there. So now this is the home page of your login. Very simple stuff. All you got to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can see that you have the courses right below your courses. You can see the My Schedule calendar view, and right beside it you have the download calendar. Now, the download calendar would download an ICS file. I forgot what it stands for, but it essentially is the calendar file. On Windows, you can easily open up ICS files and automatically add it to your Outlook calendar through the calendar app, which you have on your Windows. However, for Google, you're going to have to upload this particular calendar onto that. So simply just select download, and there we go, save as, and let me just save it in downloads, I suppose would do. So there we go, I have successfully downloaded the class for myself. I have downloaded all courses for myself. So what you're going to do is go back to the calendar and then select the settings again, and then go all the way down to import and export right below add calendar. Let me just zoom in again so you can see it better. So right below add calendar, you do not select that drop down button, just select import and export, import, and then you can select the file from your computer. So select file from your computer, there's the file, upload that, and simply select import, and it's going to successfully imported 25 out of 25 events. That is good. That means all my classes have been imported, and we can see all my courses are indeed over here. We have the course, and it even shows you where the location is and everything else. So that's good. Now, see, this is very useful for me because now I know when my courses are. It shows me whether if it's going to be on-site or off-site. Now, right now, this is an online course. This particular course is an online course, Modern Physics, Physics 365, I believe. This is off-site, so that's why I do not need to do it. However, for digital circuits, this is indeed on-site. This is, in fact, this, it has the site, it has the class, so therefore it gives me the exact location on where my courses are. So yeah, that's swell. So yeah, and that's how you import your portal calendar. Now keep in mind that I already said this before, but I'll say it again. You have to import this calendar regularly. I mean, not regularly, like day before the calendar start, like day before the course starts, because these are set timings. The timings will not change usually after your course. So these are essentially set timings for your course, so just attend them. And these are for in-person classes. Again, like I said, if you don't have in-person classes, then you're gonna have to manually add your courses. And yeah, I suppose we can show how you can add manually. So in order to create an event or add an event manually, you simply select the create button, and then you can simply select the title, like name the title for your event. However, personally, I would just simply select more options, and there we go, we get brought up to another web page. So here we have multiple options over here. You can select the date, from what time, and you can even select what day it can end. So before you begin, I recommend selecting the time zone and going all the way to your current time zone. Right now I'm in Calgary, so I'm setting it to Calgary, Edmonton. Sorry, my bad. You do not set it to your time zone. You always set the event time to Edmonton, because right now Google Calendar automatically changes the timings to fit your time zone. However, when you're setting the timings here, in order to make things easier, instead of doing all the conversion over here, like for example, like say you live in Oman, that's plus 10 hours. So instead of doing all that conversion, like adding or subtracting 10 hours, you can simply select the timing, like just simply put the timing as is on the Edmonton time, and then just simply select the time zone, select Edmonton or Mountain Time, and then select OK, and there we go. Time zone has been set up, and let's say we can just say random event, and then there we go, select save. You can add more options, for example, add location, notification, description, all that sort of stuff. You can even change the color if you wish to color code your stuff. Your choice. And me personally, what I would recommend, if it's a class session, and usually if it's an online class, then they'd have Zoom links and all that stuff. What I'd usually do in the description is that I'd usually paste the Zoom link here, like Zoom class Zoom link, and then just simply paste the Zoom link here. So that's why I can easily just join the class when it does indeed start. And then after that, password, all that sort of stuff. You know, it's just the general, description. And yeah, that's how you add an event. Outlook Calendar should also have the same similar thing. Maybe it looks a bit different, but all functionality should still be there. And yeah, I can Discord this because I don't have anything else. And yeah, that's essentially it. That is how you can use Google or Outlook Calendar to your advantage. Well, I basically taught you how to use Google Calendar, but yeah, that's how you can. Oh yeah, one more thing. Now you may have a quote, be worried that since I selected GMT, or you know, I selected a different time zone, you may be worried that, hey, what if it doesn't show me the correct timing? Do not worry, because Google Calendar always changes your time zone automatically. So you can see that I used to live in Muscat. I used to live back in Oman, so that's why it still shows my home. This is a thing. So it would automatically change the timing. If you live in elsewhere with your time zone, it would automatically change the timing and would give you your current time or your proper time where you are right now. So right now in Muscat it's around right now it's 2:30 p.m. So in Muscat it's 12:30 a.m. So yeah, there's that. And so it's automatically gonna integrate that stuff. You don't have to worry about the timing whatsoever. You can select, so if you wish to change your time zone, I suppose you can select setting and just change where you are, date format, time format, all that sort of stuff. That's your choice. So yeah, that is how you use Google Calendar, and I'm pretty sure Outlook Calendar has the exact same features, although I haven't really tried it yet, but from what I heard, Outlook Calendar and Google Calendar, they're basically the same exact thing. I prefer Google Calendar because I've used it more before, so yeah, old habits die hard, but if you wish to use Outlook Calendar, there's no stopping you. Go ahead and use it. Just my point is, have a calendar in handy at whatever time you have. It's going to save your life. You're going to know when your core events are, and it's really, really, really helpful. And yeah, Oh, I guess this is it. Hope you have a nice day. Take care, and I shall see you next time.